Yeah, I'm telling you, these guys come here and many times they're not exactly sure what it's going to be like. I mean, they have this vision in their mind of what they think it's going to be like, but they've never been to Texas before. They're really popping young guys. They're not so much into the high fence hunting and the exotics. And then once they get here and they experience the Texas hill country and that these animals are not easy to get close to, this is not a slam dunk. And they're actually out here, really experiencing an adventure bow hunt. I mean, they're going to a place they've never been, hunting an animal they've never seen.
When you talk about the conservation side of this exotic industry, our biggest successes were with what was called the three amigos, or the three species. That was the scimitar horned oryx, the Dama gazelle, and the Addax antelope. These animals are pretty much extinct in the wild, in their native land of Africa. But here in Texas, as we say in our mission statement and our motto is conservation through commerce. If you're allowed to freely trade, sell, buy, and hunt these animals, give them a value and they will flourish.
Here's the situation. We got out here early this morning, overcast skies, real breezy, looking for Addax. We looked all morning, we couldn't find them anywhere. So we went back to the lodge, had lunch, and we come back out this afternoon, and just a little while ago the sun popped out. We could not find them. The sun popped out, boom, there they are. Addax is a North African antelope. It's got a little bit of a corkscrew horn like a kudu, but they're white. And when that sun hits them, they just pop out. The problem is now it's not the best situation for stalking. We still have a decent breeze. It's not as windy as it was this morning, but there's really a lot of sun, and we're going to light up if we stalk out in this open. But we got a creek right here, and we're going to get in this creek, and we're going to work up this creek. These Addax are right up here, about 200 yards or 250 yards, and they're feeding, and they're kind of working down to the creek. So we're going to give it a shot.
The last thing you need for a good stalk is patience. You've got to be able to take your time and move slowly and deliberately, keep tabs on the animal, stay out of his line of sight, keep the wind right, and move slow and easy. Also, you've got to have time to look for interference animals, which is the biggest deterrent on a stalk. If you've got a lone animal out there that you know that you can move in on, it's going to be the interference animals that's going to probably blow the stalk. Move a little bit and then wait and watch and see what the animal does. It's surprising how often sometimes you'll be moving on an animal and you're taking your time, and then all of a sudden the animal turns and actually starts to approach you. And I think that's the key to success, really. If you can get into a coulee or a dry wash and move towards the animal and take your time and be slow and easy about it, maybe eventually that animal's going to turn and come towards the coulee. It's going to give you a shot. Of course, with the camera, it makes it really difficult because you're not only trying to hide the hunter, you're trying to hide the camera and the extra guy that's carrying it. And that makes a huge difference. It's like trying to hide three things: the camera, the hunter, and the cameraman. Cameras like to be out in the open. They don't like to have anything in front of them as far as for good focus or to see the animal. And when you've got a camera, you want to have it so it's not blocked, so you can see the animal. And if you do have it out in the open, if the camera can see the animal, likely the animal can see the camera. So that makes it really, really difficult. There's nothing better than having a steady breeze that's rustling leaves, that's moving sticks, that's covering the sound of you moving closer to an animal. I like to get lower than the animal if I can, or higher than the animal if I can, rather than be on a direct line with the animal. A lot of times in flat country you have no choice, but if you can get into a coulee or a draw or a dry creek bed or even a creek, or that you can get closer, that makes a huge, huge difference into not being seen as you move closer.
Shot. Do you see that two-blade rage hit? Immediate blood. That's our Addax right there. Wow, it couldn't have worked out any better. Spotting those three Addax, just feeding and working along through the trees, and having this creek. We're on the backside of this creek. We get down in this creek and we work right up the bottom of this creek. The sun's out, the sun's shining, but we're able to stay in the shade. I mean, we go from lights to darks, but we're down below the rise of the hill. I get in behind this bush, sure enough, there's 3 Addax pop out, and the one particular one walks right out here in front of me. Let's just give him some time. That is what it's all about right there, on the ground, eye to eye. Here's the arrow right here. 2-blade, Rage Extreme. Always gets the job done, lighted knock. We gave him 30 minutes, and it's just been crazy blood to this point. I shot him about 40 yards back there, and the arrow popped out. So we're just gonna keep following the blood right here. And you can see it on the ground. That's the nice thing about Rage, is like the wound channel is so big, you're gonna have just an incredible blood trail. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this blood right here. It's crazy. And there he is, right there. Yes! Addax on the ground. Went about 120 yards. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful North African animal. Get my bow situated here nice. Look at this. Check him out, huh? That is beautiful. You know, you think these would be easy to find. The reality is they're very difficult to find, because even though they're white, they bed down in this grass and you just can't find them. And these look like sticks sticking up, and you'll glass and look, and you just won't find them. This morning we had real good stalking situation because we had overcast skies, we had real good wind, and we got out here and got looking, we couldn't find them. We looked and looked and looked, and we could not find the Addax. And finally, sun broke out, and we were cruising back this one area, and we all of a sudden spotted three bulls together. And we made a plan and got down in a creek bottom and worked in, and got in a situation where we had good wind, and we just waited, and this one walked out. Just a beautiful bull. He went about 120 yards before he piled up. Exciting hunt. I'll tell you what, you know, the conservation effort that's involved in this Texas exotic ranching is just amazing. And these animals you cannot hunt in the wild unless you can hunt them in Texas, and that's why we were able to do this here. They're a beautiful animal, just amazing, and just an exciting hunt on the ground, eye to eye. I mean, anytime you can get on the ground and spot and stalk, and you can move around in the trees and stay low. And I mean, it's tricky here because there's a lot of deer, so there's a lot of interference animals. We were very, very fortunate today to take this one. Matthews Triax, getting it done. I love bow hunting, and this is why.